Hi guys, can you hear me? Hi guys, can you hear me? Am I visible, audible? One sec. Yeah guys, hi everyone, good morning, namaskar, sat sri akal, salam alaikum. One sec guys. Alright, can you all hear me? Okay, great. Great to have you all guys. I welcome you all to this amazing session on this amazing channel Vedantu JEE English, and here we are going to start with one of the most important topics as far as JEE Advanced is concerned, that is the conic section. Lately there have been a lot of questions which JEE Advanced has put on conic sections, and this makes it one of the hottest topic amongst mathematics chapters. Yes, all right. So let me give you some introduction of mine before we get started, and it is going to be a super awesome session. And guys, let me tell you, as we go on in the sessions, we are going to solve some amazing previous year questions of IIT Advanced, JEE Advanced, and also some other questions. And we will be solving those questions in seconds. Mind my words, in seconds. So again, there are certain things which are very important, which we have to keep in mind. I'll be telling you all those things. We'll be discussing theory, the important points of conic sections, what all things that you have to take care of mind. And then we'll start with the questions. And some of the JEE Advanced questions we are going to solve in seconds, guys. It is going to be super awesome, super informative lecture for each and every one of you, right? And as we move on, we will be solving some other units. So today we are starting with conic section. We'll be doing the theory. We'll be doing some questions, followed by I'll be taking algebra class 11 topics, and then algebra class 12 topics, then calculus, and so on. So likewise, we will be doing the units, doing some awesome theory with some awesome questions, the kind of questions which JEE Advanced has been putting in the exams in the late years. And I'm sure these sessions are going to really help you, benefit you. Yes, amazing, great to see you. And guys, do spread the word, do tell this about this channel to your friends and anyone who's preparing for JEE Advanced, right? So we don't want them to miss out on some amazing stuff which is going to happen on this particular channel. All right, superb. So guys, a bit about myself. I'm Abhay Mahajan. I've done my engineering from IIT Roorkee, been teaching for the last 13 years now. Have produced some amazing ranks in IIT JEE, in Olympiads. Last year, 10 of my students got selected in INMO, Mathematics Olympiad. I have produced some amazing 2-digit, 3-digit JEE ranks as well. And 2 of my students have also represented India, in Olympiads, right? So this is about me, but the session is about you, right? So we'll be focusing on a lot of fine points about JEE Advanced. So again, guys, today is 10th of May, right? So around 25 days, 26 days are left. I'm sure a lot of you are counting days also, right? So how do we make use of these 25 days? How do we maximize our efforts in these 25 days, right? So there are certain fine points that you have to keep in mind. This is particularly for the students who are preparing, who will be giving JEE Advanced on June 4th. Right, so some important points on JEE Advanced. So this is very important, guys, and this 25 day period is a very crucial period. It is one of the most important 25-day period in your life, guys. Right, so what you need to do is, first of all, you have to focus more on more than one correct options, because we are not used to it, right? So we all have given JEE mains twice. We might have given a lot of tests in our institutes, in our coaching, but again, we have to put a lot of focus in more than one correct, because normally this is where children make mistakes, students make mistakes. More than one correct is a lot of you are not very well prepared as far as more than one correct is concerned. And guys, lately JEE Advanced have also introduced negative markings in more than one correct. So earlier it used to be more than one correct, there was no negative marking. But lately they have put negative marking in more than one correct choice questions also, right? So these are the questions which are make or break questions, because they more than one correct come in part 1 as well as part 2 of all the subjects, right? So this is very important. Also, we need to focus very well on subjective kind of problems, like in mathematics and physics particularly, the proofs of the major theorems, because a lot of problems come from the proof. They won't, of course, be asking you the proof, but a lot of questions get made based on the proof, right? For example, I'll give you a simple example. Do you know the proof of the solution of linear differential equation? So linear differential equation, I hope you know what linear differential equation is. So linear differential equation is dy by dx plus py is equal to q, where p and q are functions of x. Right? So we all know how to solve this because this is the normal NCERT stuff. Right? So how do we solve it? So y into integrating factor is equal to q into integrating factor whole integration. Right? So we all know. But how do we derive this? This is important. So again, you need to focus on proofs, particularly mathematics and physics, a lot of proofs, because a lot of questions get made from the proofs. Right, so this concept, the proof of this concept, a lot of questions have been made in JEE Advanced based on this particular proof, guys. Right, so this is very important. And also numerical questions. So numerical questions, I mean, the answer can be anything, right? Right, in the single correct choice, there are 4 options, one of which is correct, but numerical, it can be anything, right? So you have to focus a lot, you have to practice a lot of numerical questions. The third and the most important point is JEE Advanced previous year questions, right? Right, so you might be in some coaching, you might have done good stuff, you might have scored good marks in JEE Mains, but how do you know that you are prepared for JEE Advanced? For example, if we talk about a particular chapter, so for example, Conic Sections. Now, you might be confident, super confident about Conic Sections, right? You might have scored well in JEE Mains, you might have done all the good questions of JEE, Conic Sections in JEE Mains. You might have scored very well in your coaching institute, but how do you know whether this preparation is good enough to score well in JEE Advanced, or you will be able to do Conic section questions on JEE Advanced, right? So the only thing that you can do and that can help you is try previous year questions of Conic sections of JEE Advanced. And if you are able to do 70 to 80%, 7 out of 10 questions or 8 out of 10 questions of any particular chapter, that means that chapter is well prepared. But if this ratio is less than 50%, then that means you need to work more. If it is less than 3 questions, that means the fundamentals are not clear. Right? So this is the typical analysis that I ask my students to do. So how do you know that any particular chapter is prepared, or you're prepared for any particular chapter? So just try previous year JEE questions, JEE Advanced questions. And if you are able to score 70% questions, that means 7 out of 10 questions or 8 out of 10 questions you are able to do, that means that chapter is well prepared. If it is 50%, that means you need to practice more. It is less than 30%, that means the chapter is fundamentally weak. Fundamentally, you don't know the theory, or you're not well prepared with the theory. So if it's less than 30%, fundamentally it is very weak. So this is how you go step by step and prepare each and every chapter from JEE Advanced point of view. Right? So this is very important, guys. Moreover, you need to give mocks. You should be giving mocks every 2 to 3 days and typically in the same timing. Right? So same time as JEE Advanced. So 3 hours with break of 2 hours and 3 hours again. Right? So this is what you need to do every 2 to 3 days. So everyone who is a part of our Eklavya program, we have started with a full-length test. So every 2 to 3 days, it is very important, guys, because exam temperament is something that you need to deal with, and it is going to be a super high pressure day. Right? So normally the efficiency dips by 10 to 15% of each and every student. Every student, your efficiency is going to dip by 15 to 20% because this is a very high pressure day. You've been made to believe that this is one of the most important days of your life, and it is so, right? Which is going to, chalk out your career path. And you need to take care in mind that JEE Advanced pattern changes every year. they would change the pattern every year. Something, I mean, there can be a minor change, but again, there would be some change. Every year it happens. Every year there is certain change in JEE Advanced pattern. So you don't have to, stick to a particular pattern. Like I'll do single choice correct first, multiple, more than one correct later, and then maybe matrix match after that. Don't stick to that particular pattern. So try out different patterns. I mean, try out different years JEE Advanced papers. You will see that every year the pattern is different. There is some minor change. Right, so if you stick to something like, so sir, in paper 2, I'll start with single choice correct. It may happen that paper 2, there is no single choice correct. All the questions are multiple choice, or maybe all the questions are numerical, right? So don't have to stick to one particular pattern. This is one of the major learnings, as far as my teaching is concerned. And this is something which I tell to my students every year. Do not stick to one particular pattern. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear? Is this clear? Yes? Super. Now guys, let us get started. So again, this was the main points of JEE Advanced, and whatever more points you have, whatever queries you have, you can always ask in the chat, or you can put in the comments. I will definitely reply to them, right? All right. So let us get started with conic sections. So we'll start with a very basic theory, the kind of theory that everyone should be knowing, important points. There are some finer points that you need to remember as far as JEE Advanced is concerned. You might not, remember these points for JEE Mains, but JEE Advanced you have to remember these points, because remembering these points, and we'll see today also, remembering these points, we will be able to solve some of the important questions, some of the finer questions of JEE Advanced in seconds. In seconds, we're going to solve. Yes? So guys, are you all excited? Or you're excited? Give me a thumbs up on the chat if you're excited for everyone. Thumbs up on the chat if you're all ready for this theory and some amazing questions based out of these theory. Everyone, fadaf. All right, guys. All right. Also like the session, guys. Like the session. Very important. Very important. Right. All right. So this is a table that you need to remember. If you don't remember this table, I'll just keep myself aside. You can take the screenshot. Anyways, I'll be sharing this in your Telegram group later today. Right. So this is very important table, and what I've done is I've taken 3 standard conic sections and written certain standard points. Right. For example, y square is equal to 4x. If y is equal to mx plus c, if y is equal to mx plus c is the condition for tangency, then c is equal to a by m in case of parabola, c square is equal to a square m square plus b square in case of ellipse, c square is equal to a square m square minus b square in case of hyperbola. Very important, guys. In fact, this is directly mentioned in your JEE Advanced syllabi. If you open the JEE Advanced syllabi for 2024, this is mentioned specifically that condition for y is equal to mx plus c to be tangent to the standard parabolas. Very important. Right, so y is equal to mx plus c. If it is tangent to y square is equal to 4x, the condition between c, a and m is c is equal to a by m. If it is tangent to this parabola, ellipse, x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1, if a is greater than b, then c square is equal to a square m square plus b square, c square is equal to a square m square minus b square. Very important, right? The next is slope form. So what does slope form means? Slope form means if there is a conic section and you know a tangent, to that conic section, you know the slope of the tangent to that conic section. For example, you know slope. So there is a conic section, y square is equal to 4x, and you know the slope of the tangent, you can directly write the equation of the tangent. So if the slope is m, the equation to the tangent to this parabola is going to be y is equal to mx plus a by m. If the slope is m, the equation of the tangent to the parabola having slope m, which is tangent to this ellipse, is equal to mx plus minus root of a square m square plus b square. And of course, because this happens because c, the value of c is plus minus root of this, a square m square plus b square. So you can directly put back the value of c, you will get this. Likewise, for hyperbola, it is y is equal to mx plus minus root of a square m square minus b square. Very important. If we talk about the parametric form of the tangent, now parametric points in case of y square is equal to 4x is a t square comma 2at. In case of this it is a cos theta b sin theta. In case of hyperbola, it is A secant theta, B tan theta. A secant theta, B tan theta. These are the parametric points of the parabola, ellipse, hyperbola respectively, right? So parametric form the tangent. How do you get the parametric form the tangent? Just apply t is equal to 0. I hope everyone knows what t is equal to 0 means. And how do you find t is equal to 0, right? So t is equal to 0, ty is equal to x plus at square. This is the equation of the tangent to the parabola. X cos theta by a plus y sin theta by b is equal to 1. This is the equation of the tangent to the ellipse. X secant theta by a minus y tan theta by b is equal to 1 is the parametric equation of the tangent to this. Now, when do we use parametric? In case of the questions involving locus, right? So it is always beneficial that you use parametric equations or tangent of ellipse, parabola, hyperbola whenever the questions of locus come, because it is very easy to eliminate theta and t. Are you getting this, guys? So I'll just get a slide. You can all note this down and give me thumbs up on the chat box, or say noted, sir, before I proceed. Have you noted this down, guys? Very important table. This is one of the most important tables, guys, of your lives, maybe. Great. Great. All right. Now, the next is same parabolas, director circle. So what does director circle mean? Director circle is a circle from which two perpendicular tangents can be drawn, right? So in case of ellipse, the director circle is x square plus y square is equal to a square plus b square. In case of hyperbola, the director circle is x square plus y square is equal to a square minus b square. And in case of parabola, the director circle is actually a line, which is directrix. Director circle is actually a line, which is directrix. So very important. Director circle is the locus of the points from which two perpendicular tangents are drawn to any conic section. So in case of ellipse, this is the director circle. In case of hyperbola, director circle is this. Also in case of hyperbola, you need to make sure that this is r square, right? X square plus y square is equal to r square, and r square is always positive. So a square is always greater than b square. A square is always greater than b square if this is the hyperbola. So if a square is greater than b square, only then you are able to draw two perpendicular tangents. Otherwise, you will not be able to draw two perpendicular tangents. That is one, right? Normal form, again, you can skip this. I'll tell you how to remember this, right? So just next slide. Just wait for the next slide. So I'll just tell you how did I remember. So when I used to prepare for IIT JEE, how did I remember this particular point and this particular points? And these are parametric form of the normal. So for normal, y is equal to minus tx plus 2at plus at cube. A secant theta x minus b cosecant theta y is a square minus b square. This is the normal to the ellipse. And ax by secant theta plus by by tan theta is equal to a square plus b square, right? So again, we'll see how do we remember these two. These two, how do we remember? This is very important, guys, and I'll tell you how I used to remember this. Before that, you can note down this, guys, and tell me, note it on the chat, everyone. You can all note down this. Give me a thumbs up or say noted after you have noted all this. Very important, guys. These two tables, this one and the one before that, very important tables. They're going to make your lives very easy as far as solving conic section questions are concerned. Everyone, is it clear? Right, so JEE Advanced series, we are not focusing on how do we derive these, guys, because again, this part is assumed. I'm assuming this part that you know all this, right? But you have to remember all this, okay? Okay, now, how I used to remember in case of ellipse, hyperbola, when I used to prepare, how would I remember these fine points? See, this is the ellipse. This is the ellipse. Let us talk about a point x1, y1. Equation of the tangent is very simple. This was t is equal to 0. So replace x square by x1, so it will be x1 by a square plus y1 by b square is equal to 1. So no problem with this, right? Likewise, we have x1, y1. If there is a point on the hyperbola, t is equal to 0 is given by x x1 by a square minus y y1 by b square is equal to 1. Is equal to 1. Right, so this was the equation of the tangent. How did I remember the equation of the normal? This is very important. You can, note this down. Very important trick. So basically what you do is, you just reciprocate the coefficients of x and y. Coefficients of x and y, just reciprocate. So again, x, the coefficient will be a square by x1 times x. A square x1, x square x plus x1. B square y by y1. Likewise, this also. Reciprocate the coefficients of y square. So b square goes up, y1 goes down. And put a minus sign in between. Minus sign in between is equal to, in case of ellipse, put a square minus b square. In case of hyperbola, put a square plus b square. So again, the equation contains a square plus b square in case of ellipse. Normal, just put the minus sign. Likewise, if I have to write the normal, same trick. Coefficient of x, just reciprocate. So it will be a square x by x1 plus b square y by y1. Just change the sign. Right side, since it is hyperbola, we write to a square plus b square. A square plus b square in case of hyperbola, a square minus b square in case of ellipse. And we are done. So what it has done is, at a point x1 comma y1 on the hyperbola, if there is a point x1 comma y1 on the hyperbola, we are able to directly write the equation of the normal. That is important. Now the third point is, if we talk about this parametric point, let's say parametric point is a cos theta, b sin theta. So equation of the tangent again is t is equal to 0. That means x1 is a cos theta. So it will be x cos theta by a plus y sin theta by b is equal to 1. Same thing. Just replace x1 by a cos theta, y1 by b sin theta. Normal, same trick. Normal, same trick. We reciprocate the coefficient of x. So a is going to go up. X upon cos theta. Cos theta, 1 upon cos theta is secant theta. Minus. B is going to go up. Sin theta down. So it is cosecant theta. Is equal to a square minus b square. So directly in one line you are able to write the slope, the normal form, parametric normal form of this ellipse. Likewise, you apply the same trick here. So again, the parametric point is going to be a secant theta, b tan theta. A secant theta, b tan theta. So t is equal to 0. T is equal to 0. It is going to be x secant theta by a. Y tan theta by b is equal to 1. This is the tangent. Normal. How do we write normal? Reciprocate the coefficient of x. So it is a x by cos theta. So this is cos theta. B y cot theta is equal to a square plus b square. So this is the normal form of the the hyperbola. Parametric normal form of the hyperbola. Is it clear? So this is how I used to remember. I've shared this trick with you. So you can do the same, guys. And this is very important, right? Why is this important? Because a lot of times, a lot of questions come on the locus of the normals. So whenever the question comes on locus of the normal or tangents of any conic section, we always use the parametric form. Is it clear, everyone? Chat box, give me a thumbs up, everyone, if you've understood this. Everyone, thumbs up on the chat box if you've understood this. Got it, everyone? Yes? Superb, Kaushal. Great. Hi, Shiva. Great. Also, guys, like the session. Amazing. Okay, guys. So now on tangents, typically what I have noticed is typically there are three kinds of questions which get asked in case of the conic sections in JEE Advanced. So one is, these are not the direct questions, but this is the approach. I'm just telling you the approaches. Approach one. So one is, there is a conic section and there is a point P which lies on the conic. There is a conic section and there is a point P which lies on the conic section. And again, something to do with tangent and normal. Right, so of course they're not going to ask what is the equation of the tangent, because this is going to be a very simple question. But again, tangent, after tangent they're going to do something. In other words, you have to find the equation of the tangent or equation of the normal. Equation of the tangent or equation of the normal, and maybe do something after it. Now, if the point lies on the conic section, guys, if the point lies on the conic section, all you need to do to find the equation of the tangent is t is equal to 0. This is very important. Very important. So if the point lies on the conic section, t is equal to 0, you are able to directly write the equation of the tangent. How do you find the equation of the normal? If you are given a point, you can find the slope of this, do minus 1 by m, and again y minus y1 is minus 1 by m times x minus x1. Right, so this is how you write the equation of the normal. Right, so this is very important. Of course, they're not going to ask you what is the equation of the tangent, what is the equation of the normal, because these questions are going to be very direct. But they will ask you something after this. Right, so if a point lies on the conic section, all you need to do is apply t is equal to 0 for equation of the tangent. That is one. Now, the second is there is a curve and there is a point P which lies outside. Curve S is equal to 0. This can be any conic section. It can be ellipse, hyperbola, parabola or circle. And there is a point P which lies outside point, and you have to, maybe write the equation of the tangents or maybe do something after that. The other way is, how do we find these two equations? Now, the poor approach in this is going to be S1 is equal to t square. This is going to be a poor approach. Poor approach. Because it is going to take away a lot of your time. S1 t square, if you apply, you will get two equations of the tangent combined together, but you have to uncombine them, separate them. Now this is going to take away a lot of your time, right? So conic section, you have to learn how to be quick, how to apply the concepts quickly, how to reach to the solution quickly, right? So this is the poor approach. So if there is an outside point, if it is a parabola or ellipse or hyperbola, if the point lies outside, the only approach that you need to work on is the slope form of the tangent. Slope form of the tangent. For example, if let's say this is an ellipse. If this is an ellipse, x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. X square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. And there is a point which lies outside, x1, y1, let's say. How do you find two equations of the tangent? You write the slope form of the tangent to this ellipse, which is y is equal to mx plus minus root of a square m square plus b square. So that is why you have to remember all those points in the table given before. Now this is a general equation of the tangent having slope m, which is tangent to this. Now we say this tangent passes through this point x1 comma y1, so x1 y1 satisfies. Now if it satisfies the y1 minus mx1, if we take it over there and square this, it is m square a square plus b square, and this is going to be a quadratic in m. M is the only unknown, everything else is known. x1 y1 is known, a and b are known, m is the only unknown. So you will get, solving this, you will get two values of m, that is m1 and m2. So as you get two values of m, m1, m2, you know the point, you know the slopes, you can apply point slope form. Y minus y1 is m1 times x minus x1 and m2 times x minus x1, and we are done. We have been able to find the two slopes. So this is the approach that needs to come to your mind very quickly. You don't have to spend even a fraction of a second for the approach. Of course, the calculation is going to take time, but approach should come to your mind very, very, very quickly. So again, you have to remember this. If the point lies outside, slope form. That is why you need to remember the slope form of each and every conic section which was given in the table before. Right, so this is the second kind of questions which get typically asked. The third would be there is a curve, S is equal to 0, and there is a tangent. It is given that this is the tangent, T is equal to 0. Find this P, point of contact. Point of contact. You need to find point of contact. Now, the poor approach here, would be to solve. Solve tangent and s is equal to 0. And of course, discriminant is going to be 0. This is the poor approach. This is the poor approach, the very, one of the worst approach that you can do. So if you are solving the two curves, that means your conic section is not strong. As simple as that. As simple as that. Right? So you don't ever have to solve this, guys. This is going to be a very, very, very poor approach. If you are solving the line and the curve, it is going to take time, of course. That is why it is a poor approach. Now what you do here is, you know this curve. You know this line t is equal to 0. Let's say this line is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. You have to find this point P. Now, one of the best approaches here is, let us assume this point be x1, y1. Let us assume this point be x1, y1, and you know the curve s is equal to 0. So what you do is, at x1, y1, you apply t is equal to 0. So apply t is equal to 0 at x1, y1. So you will get a linear equation in x1, y1. A linear equation in x1, y1. Compare that equation to ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 and find x1, y1. So this is one of the best approaches, guys. One of the best approaches, and it doesn't take time. And we will be doing, today in today's session, we will also be doing some questions based on all of these three concepts. And you'll see that if you apply these concepts, it is going to take very less time and you will be able to do or solve these questions in seconds, not minutes, seconds. Right? So these are the three approaches, guys. Very important. You have to, keep in mind all these three approaches. Right? So whenever the point lies on the curve, t is equal to 0. If it is an outside point, you have to take care that you have to remember the slope form of the conic section and put the point in there, find slope m1, m2. For point of contact, let's assume the point of contact to be x1, y1. Apply t is equal to 0 at this curve. You'll get an equation. Compare this to the given equation. Directly, you'll be able to find x1, y1. Is this clear? If it is clear, give me a thumbs up on the chat, everyone, so that I move on to the next slide. Thumbs up on the chat so that I move on to the next slide, everyone. Okay. Okay. Now, slope forms of the other parabolas. Now, this is again very important. Now, what does this mean? So, basically, we have done y square is equal to 4x. Y square is equal to 4x. Right? The point is at square comma 280. At square comma 280. The tangent parametric form is ty is equal to x plus at square. We know this. Right? Also, we know the slope form. So, how do we find the slope form? How do we derive the slope form? Basically, the slope of this line is 1 by t. Y is equal to mx plus, divide by t. So, slope is going to be 1 by t. So, what you do is put t is equal to 1 by m here. So, 1 by my is equal to x plus a by m square. In other words, y is equal to mx plus a by m. So, this is the slope form. Now, we remember this. We know this. This is the slope form of the tangent. This is the parametric form of the tangent. But what about the other parabola? So, for the standard parabola, we know. But what about the other parabola? For example, if the parabola given is x square is equal to 4ay. Now, how do we find the slope form for this? How do we find the slope form for this? Right. For slope form, see, the trick is how is this related to this, first of all? X square is equal to 4ay, y square is equal to 4x. Can I say in x square is equal to 4ay, in y square is equal to 4x, what we have done is we have replaced x with y and y with x. So we have interchanged x and y. This is the only thing that we have done. So for x square is equal to 4ay, I can safely say that in y square is equal to 4x, I have replaced x and y. X has been replaced with y has been replaced with x. Can I say that? Now, this also works with the tangent, parametric form of the tangent. So, parametric form of the tangent is going to be tx is equal to y plus at square. Now, this does not work with this. This is very important, guys. Replacing x and y in slope form does not work. So, this is one of the major mistakes which a lot of students make. So x and y replacing works in this and the tangent t form, parametric form of the tangent, not in the slope form of the tangent. How do we find the slope form? Like the same way. For example, यहाँ पर, if you see this, what is the slope? Y is equal to mx. So slope is t. So basically replace t by m. So it will be y is equal to mx minus am square. So this is the slope form of the tangent of the parabola x square is equal to 4ay. Sir, do we need to remember this? I would say no, because you can easily derive this. So you should know how to derive this. Because if you remember this, you have to remember all the other two also, right? So don't remember this. Just remember x square is equal to 4ay. How does it get formed? X and y get replaced. So x and y get replaced even in the parametric form of the tangent. But slope form, we derive the same way. For example, let us do this. Y square is equal to minus 4x. Y square is equal to minus 4x. Now, how do we see this with respect to the first parabola? So this we see as y square is equal to 4a times minus x. So basically, what do I tell myself? Y is same, but x has been replaced by minus x. X has been replaced by minus x. This is how I see it. Now, this is also going to help us with the tangent form. So tangent form or the parametric form is going to be ty is equal to minus x plus at square. So tangent form is going to be this. So basically replace x by minus x, and that is it. And that is it, right? Now, how do we find the slope form? So divide by t. So y is equal to minus 1 by tx plus at. So what is the slope? Slope is minus 1 by t. That means t is equal to minus 1 by m. So put t is equal to minus 1 by m here. So y is equal to mx minus a by m. So this would be the slope form of this parabola. Slope form of this parabola is going to be y is equal to mx minus. So this is how you remember. Are you getting this? Right, so you don't have to remember this. But again, you should know the process. You should know the process. Likewise, for the fourth parabola, if we talk about the fourth parabola, that is x square is equal to minus 4ay. So how do we read this? I would read it as x square is equal to 4a times minus y. And compare it to this. So the tangent form, first of all, parametric form, I replace y by minus y. So it will be tx is equal to minus y plus at square. Tx is equal to minus y plus at square. And slope form the same way. So yeah, you can derive it yourself. But again, why are slope form important? The slopes are important for the second approach here. Why is the slope form important? Slope form is important so that we are able to, find the equation of the tangent from the outside point. So that is why we require slope form of every conic section. Also, the second application of slope form is common tangents. So common tangents. So again, if I say, find the equation of the common tangents to the curves x square is equal to 4ay and maybe, or 4y, I'll just say x square is equal to 4y, or maybe this circle x square plus y square is equal to 8. So these are two curves, right? So how do we find the common tangent? So what do we do is, we write the equation of the slope form. It is y is equal to mx plus minus a root of 1 plus m square. A root of 1 plus m square. We write the slope form of this. Y is equal to mx minus am square. I don't remember, but I think it was this only. Minus am square, a is 1. A is 1 in this case. Now, how do we find m? mx. So this is the same tangent. So again, minus m square is equal to plus minus 2 root of 1 plus m square. Solve m. Solve m. So maybe you'll get two values of m, and so that means it is going to have two different tangents. So put m here, both the values of m here, you'll get the equation of the tangents. As simple as that. Right? So common tangent also, again, this get very easy if we know the slope form of the curves. So that is why slope forms are very important. That is why I'm putting a lot of stress on how to find these all. Okay. Next, length of the focal chord of the parabola. Length of the focal chord of the parabola. This is a standard result, guys. If anyone remembers this, you can write on the chat. Do we remember this, guys? Let's say the curve is, the parabola is y square is equal to 4x. What is the focal chord? It is a chord which passes through the focus. The chord which passes through the focus. So AB is the chord which passes through the point S. This is the focal chord. Now this is point T. Clearly this is point minus 1 by T. Okay? Or otherwise, if this is T1, this is going to be T2. So we know that T1 into T2 is minus 1. Very important. Very important. Right? So what is this length? What is this length? AB. So AB length is A times T plus 1 by T whole square. If this angle is alpha, there is another formula for this. AB is equal to 4A cosecant square alpha. 4A cosecant square alpha, you have to remember both of these formulas. You have to remember both of these formulas. A into T plus 1 by T whole square. So if this is T, this is going to be minus 1 by T. So A into T plus 1 by T whole square, very important. The other is 4A cosecant square alpha. Right, so both of these formulas you have to remember. And again, we'll see exactly, Chini. We'll see that a lot of questions have been asked based on the focal length. And we'll solve one of these questions today also. And we'll see the importance of these two formulas. A into T plus 1 by T whole square, 4A cosecant square alpha. Is it clear, everyone? Thumbs up on the chat, also like. Is it clear? So these are certain finer points which you have to remember, guys. As simple as that. For JEE Advanced, these points should be there in your mind. Thumbs up on the chat, everyone. Length of the focal chord of the parabola, very important. All right. Next is focal segments. Focal segments. So again, we'll talk about the focal segments of all the three. The first point is the harmonic mean of the focal segments of the focal chord of any conic section is equal to semi-lattice rectum. Is equal to semi-lattice rectum. Right? So, this is the parabola. This is the parabola. Let's say this is the conic focal chord, AB. This is the focus. Let's say this is L1, this is L2. Right? So, basically AS is L1, BS is L2. So, it says 2L1 L2 upon L1 plus L2. That is the harmonic mean of the focal chord. This is always equal to semi-lattice rectum in this case. If the parabola is y square is equal to 4x. Y square is equal to 4x. If we talk about the ellipse, let's say the ellipse is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1, where a is greater than b. Focus 1, focus 2. X square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1, a greater than b. Now, if there is any focal chord, let's say this is the focal chord, AB, chord which passes through the focus. Let's say this is L1, this is L2. AS is S1 is L1 and BS1 is L2. So again, same case, 2L1 L2 upon L1 plus L2. That is the harmonic mean of the focal chord is equal to semi-lattice rectum. The lattice rectum in this case is 2b square by a. Lattice rectum. Semi is going to be b square by a. Semi is going to be b square by a. And the same thing is going to happen with hyperbola also. Hyperbola also. So this property is not only restricted to parabola, but again it takes it to hyperbola and parabola also. The two segments of the focal chord of the parabola, their harmonic mean is always equal to the semi-lattice rectum. One thing you have to keep in mind. The other thing is, if you have to find, let's say L1, that is AS, the segment of the focal chord, this length you have to find. Always remember, distance formula is a sin in coordinate geometry. So at any point, if you're applying the distance formula, you are making a great sin. It's a great mathematical sin, great conic section sin. You don't have always, anyways, at any point of time, apply the distance formula in any conic section formula question. Of course, unless it is a direct question. So if you have to find AS, or let's say BS, or let's say AS1, or let's say BS1, or in case of hyperbola, that is any point to the focus, this distance, you always have to go to the basic definition of conic section. Do we remember the basic definition of the conic section? What is the definition? This is a fixed point and this is a fixed line. Fixed point, fixed line. And the curve moves in such a way that this ratio is always constant. PS upon PM is always constant. If K is equal to 1, it is a parabola. If K is less than 1, it is ellipse. If K is greater than 1, it is hyperbola. Right? So any point if lies on the conic section, that distance from the focus is always, PS is always equal to, this is E actually, E times PM. So whenever you are asked PS, that is the distance of the point from the focus, you are never ever apply the distance formula. All you need to do is E times PM. A centrifuge times the distance between the point and the directrix. That is it. For example, in this case, if I have to find AS, what I'll do is I'll apply or find AM. So AS is going to be AM. Likewise, in this case, AS1 is going to be equal to E times AM. E times the distance of the point from this line. Right? So this is very important, guys. Never ever apply distance formula when you're asked the distance between the point and the focus. Point and the focus distance, never apply the distance formula. Always go with the definition of the conic section. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no on the chat? Everyone? Yes or no on the chat? Is this clear? Very important point, guys. Very important. So one is the harmonic mean of focal segment of any focal chord is always equal to the semi-latus rectum. The other is this. Never apply distance formula to find the distance between the point and the focus. Okay, great. Foot of the perpendicular from the focus. This is also very important. So again, if we talk about the parabola, there is a focus, let's say S. There is a tangent. Okay. There is a tangent at point A. There is a focus S. Right? So this is the tangent. T is equal to 0. Now the foot of the perpendicular. So from the focus, if you draw a perpendicular to any tangent, it is always going to touch at tangent at the vertex. Let's say this point is M. So this point is always going to be on the tangent at the vertex. That is TAV. Tangent at the vertex. So foot of the perpendicular from focus to any tangent of the parabola always meet at the tangent of the vertex. Now tangent of the vertex also exists in case of ellipse. So the same property is true for the ellipse and hyperbola also. Let's say this is a ellipse. X square by A square plus Y square by B square is equal to 1. X square by A square plus Y square by B square is equal to 1. And there is any tangent. Let's talk about any tangent. Right, so this is a tangent. Now there are two foci. Let's say this is S1, this is S2. This is S2. Now same thing happens here also. The foot of the perpendicular from any tangent, from focus to any tangent, always lie on the tangent of the vertex. So in this case, the tangent of the vertex is actually the auxiliary circle. Auxiliary circle. Auxiliary circle. So basically in case of parabola, the auxiliary circle becomes the tangent of the vertex. It is the auxiliary circle. Which equation is x square plus y square is equal to a square. X square plus y square is equal to a square. Right? So basically the foot of the perpendicular from any foci to any tangent always lie on the auxiliary circle of the ellipse. One important point, if this point is P, this point is Q, S1 into S1Q into S2P. So basically this length into this length is always equal to square of the semi-minor axis. Is equal to the square of the semi-minor axis. Again, very important guys, very important. So S1Q into S2P, this length into this length is equal to the square of the semi-minor axis. Very important. Last year, JEE Advanced 22, there was a direct question based on this. JEE Advanced 2022, there was a direct question based on this property. Right, so foot of the perpendicular from the focus to any tangent lies on, in case of the parabola, it is the tangent of the vertex. In case of hyperbola or ellipse, it is the auxiliary circle. Very important point again. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Have you noted it, everyone? Everyone, please note it down. Give me a thumbs up on the chat. Everyone. Right, noted, thumbs up on the chat. We're going to start questions very soon, guys. Very soon we're going to start with the questions. Okay. Now certain important points, and this is very common, guys. This is very common. If there is a point T1, there is a point T2, we draw a tangent, this meets at a T1, T2, a T1 plus T2. Very important. The second thing is, if there is a focus, let's say S, SP, SR, SQ is always in GP. These three lengths in case of parabola, that is S2P, S2R, S2Q, they're always in GP. Right, so this is an important point and very obvious, very common. Now this is again a very important point, guys. The area of the triangle formed by any 3 points on the parabola. Right, so there is a point A, there is a point B, there is a point B. Now this is a triangle which gets formed. This is a triangle which gets formed. So this area, let's say this area is A1. A1 is double the area of the triangle formed by the tangents at these points. So basically, at point A, there is going to be a tangent. At point B, there is going to be a tangent. At point C, there is again going to be a tangent. So of course, there is going to be a triangle which gets formed by these 3 lines. Let's say this is A2. So basically, A1 is twice of A2. The triangle formed by 3 major points on the parabola, that area is going to be double the area of the tangents which get formed, which might be outside. Is it clear? This is very important. Again, a direct question has come in JEE Advanced on this property. Of course, this can be very easily proved. This can be proved very easily. You can try it on your own. This can be proved very easily. You can try it on your own. Very important. But it is important that you remember this point. Okay. Now, this is also one of the observations which I have made personally. A lot of questions in JEE Mains and JEE Advanced also have come on this locus. So we talk about the standard parabola. Let's say y square is equal to 4x. Y square is equal to 4x. There is a point Q, any point Q, which moves on the parabola. The other point is on the fixed on vertex. Now there is a point P, which divides this chord in the ratio 1:lambda. Then we have to find the locus of P. Now this is very important, which can be proved very easily, but again, I've made a standard formula on this. This point is going to be, the locus of the point is going to be parabola, which is y square is equal to 4a, length of the later septum, upon 1 plus lambda times x. 1 plus lambda times x. So this point is also going to be a parabolic point whose equation is going to be y square is equal to same length of the later septum upon 1 plus lambda times x. Important thing is this ratio is 1 is to lambda. 1 is here, lambda is here. For example, if the question becomes, if the question is point P divides OQ in the ratio 2 is to 3. 2 is to 3. So basically what I'll do is 2 is to 3 is same as 1 is to 3 by 2. I'll use lambda as 3 by 2. I'll use lambda as 3 by 2 here and directly get the equation. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear, everyone? On the chat, everyone. Okay. So let me put your question. Let's see if you are able to answer this. There is a parabola. Let's say y square is equal to 8x. 8x. There is a point Q which moves on the parabola. O is origin. Point P divides OQ in the ratio, let's say 5 is to 3. What is the locus of P? What is the locus of P? Everyone on the chat, let's see. Let's see who answers this first. Point P divides OQ in the ratio 5 is to 3. What is going to be the locus of P? Locus of P. So locus of P is going to be very simple, guys. Locus of P, P is also going to be a parabola. So equation is going to be y square is equal to 8 upon 1 plus lambda. 1 plus lambda. Now all I need to do is find lambda. Now ratio is 5 is to 3, or this can be written as 1 is to 3 by 5. So lambda is going to be 3 by 5. This is going to be lambda. So 1 plus lambda is going to be 1 plus 3 by 5. That is 8 by 5. That is 8 by 5. So y square is equal to 4a upon 8 by 5 into x. Or y square is equal to 5a. Sorry. Y square is equal to, this is 8. 8 by 8 by 5. So y square is equal to 5x. Y square is equal to 5x. This is y square is equal to 5x. This is the answer. So again, this is, again, what I've done is I've made a shorter formula for this because this thing has been repeated in JEE Mains and Advanced a lot of times. So that is why I've created a small formula on this. And this, of course, can be easily proved. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? On the chat, yes. On the chat, yes, if it is clear. Let me know, guys. On the chat, yes. Super. 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 Now, guys, these were the important points that you have to take care in mind. These were the finer points. Of course, I've skipped the very basic points. I have not discussed anything on eccentricity, which is also very important. You should be knowing. You should be knowing, for example, this is very important. I've skipped this. X square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. Let's say if a is greater than b. What is the formula for eccentricity? X square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. How do we write eccentricity in terms of a and b in case of hyperbola? Right, so this should be very clear. I'm assuming that you've put a lot of attention on these two while preparing for JEE Mains. So again, I did not focus on these 2 points here, but again, a lot of questions have been asked in JEE Advanced based on these basic things only. Okay, area of ellipse is pi AB. Area of ellipse is pi AB. So pi AB. So how do we find? We find this using integration. Integration is one of the ways we find the area. Alright, guys, so the theory is finished. Almost 1 hour is over. Are we all ready to do some amazing questions? So we'll be discussing some very good questions which are JEE Advanced level and also some of the questions which have been asked in JEE Advanced. And we'll try, the objective is not only to solve the questions but to solve the questions very quickly. Okay, so this is the objective. The objective, the end point is not the answer, guys, because answer in coordinate geometry can be found. If you take 3 hours, solve everything, find all the points of intersection, you will be able to find the answer. But the answer here is, the point here is to save time. How do you arrive at the answer in the minimum possible time? Right, so that is how we are going to solve it today. Are you all guys ready, guys? Excited? Farafats? Everyone, thumbs up on the chat and also like the session, everyone. Everyone, are you excited for the questions? Are you all ready for the questions? Are you all prepared? Pens, pencils, notebooks ready? Yes? Everyone, give me some excitement, guys. Everyone on the chat. Everyone on the chat, some excitement. All right. So the first question coming up on your screen is this. Length of the focal chord of the parabola y square is equal to 4x at a distance p from the vertices. Let me explain the question first. The question is, there's a parabola. This is a parabola, y square is equal to 4x. This is a focal chord which passes through the focus, let's say AB. AB, focal chord. Y square is equal to 4x, focal chord. The distance of the focal chord from the vertex is P. So basically, if you draw a perpendicular from here to here, O, let's say X, this is P. So at a distance of P from the vertex, what you need to do is you need to find AB, length of AB. You need to find AB. Very amazing question, and okay, I'll let you try, guys, but I can solve this question in 15 seconds. And you should also be. With the kind of things that we have done, you should be able to solve this question in 15 seconds. Of course, there is a lengthy solution, which I'll tell you, of course. But again, whatever we have done in today's class, we should be able to solve this question in 15 seconds, not more than that. 15 seconds. Let's see who does that. So is the option A, B, C or D? Is the option A, B, C, D on the chart, everyone? Is the option A, B, C, D? 2A square by P, A cube by P, P, A cube by P square by A. Whatever I've taught you today, you should be able to do this in 15 seconds. It should not take more than 15 seconds, guys. Right, so this is the main idea of, remembering those points which I've told you at the start today. Should not take you more than 15 seconds, everyone. All right, see, what are the formulas of the length? So I remember one formula, which is A into T plus 1 by T whole square. This is one formula where this point is T. If point A is T, this is T plus 1 by T whole square. This is one formula. The other formula I remember is 4A cosecant square alpha. So again, I started with this. What did I have to find? I had to find the length of the focal chord. Do I remember the formula? Yes, sir. There were two formulas, this and this. Now this is based on the T. So basically, if point A is T plus 1 by T whole square. 4A cosecant square alpha. Now see, guys, how do we make good use of this, any of these formulas? Now in the second case, alpha was this angle. Alpha was this angle. Can I say this angle is also going to be alpha? Angle OSB. Angle OSB is also going to be alpha. Can I say that? Also, guys, OS, this length is going to be A. This length is going to be A. This angle is alpha. And if we talk about triangle OSB, what is sine alpha? Just see how amazing this is. Sine alpha is perpendicular upon hypotenuse, that is P upon A. That means cosecant alpha is going to be A by P. And we are done. 4A into A by P whole square, that is 4A cube by P square, option C. I told you 15 seconds. I told you this was a 15-second question based on the property. So that is why all the important properties that I told you today, it should be there in your mind and you should be, able to pull it out of your minds very quickly, guys. Did you all get this? Yes or no? Did you all get this? Did you all enjoy this? Yes, so it is option C, 4aq by p square. As simple as that, and we're done. Got it? The other way of doing this was, what was the other way of doing this? Right, so the other way was, in these kind of things, what you do is, you make standard things. For example, one of the focal chords is later septum. One of the focal chords is later septum. This length is 4a. What is P here? P, that is distance of this focal chord from origin. This is A. So P is equal to A. So basically, whenever you put P as A, you should be able to find, the length should be 4A. The length should be 4A whenever you put P as A. So if you put P as A, this length is 2A. P as A, this length is A square. P as A, this length is A. If you put P as A, this length is 4A. So of course, this had to be the correct answer. This was another way of doing it. Okay, this was another way. The third way was the standard way. You know, let's say this is T1, this is T2, and we know that T1 into T2 is -1. You write the equation, you find the perpendicular again. In this, you put back the value of T plus 1 by T. Right, so but this is going to take a lot of time. Got it? All right, next. Again guys, 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Let x and y be a point on the parabola y square is equal to 4x. Y square is equal to 4x. Y square is equal to 4x. Let P be a point that divides the line segment from 0, 0 to xy in the ratio 1:3. This is P, this is Q. 1:3. What is the locus of P? It should be 15 seconds, guys. We have just done this. And this was, question asked in JEE Advanced 2011, right? So 2011, this was the question which was asked. Y square is equal to 4x, Q is moving, O is origin. This is important. O is origin. P divides OQ in the ratio 1:3 internally. What is going to be the locus of P? On the chat, everyone. This is very easy, guys. Very easy this is. This is very easy. So I've already told you guys, if there's a parabola y square is equal to 4ax, if this is 1:λ, the locus of point P is y square is equal to length of the later septum upon 1 plus lambda times x. You have to remember this, as simple as that. You have to remember this. In this case, it's very straightforward. Lambda is 3. So y square is equal to 4. A is 1 upon 4. That is y square is equal to x. Option is C. Are you able to see, guys? This is the previous year IIT question. 15 seconds. Now the question is, sir, do they ask the similar kind of questions even now, 10 years later, 11 years later? Yes. Right, so JEE Advanced is a very conceptual exam wherein all you have to do is identify easy questions and pounce on them. That is it. So if you are able to do all the easy questions, you will easily be able to get under 2000 rank. So this is the nature of the paper. Identify all the easy questions. Now this is the problem which students face. They are not able to identify those easy problems. You know, they would spend a lot of time on the difficult ones. They'll not be able to do. They'll lower their confidence in the exam and maybe not even be able to do the easy questions after that. Right? So all you need to do is you have to have a very strong ability, ability of identifying the easy questions and pounce on them. That is it. Okay. Okay, let us do this. Okay, this was done. Okay, right, so we have already discussed this. Y square is equal to 4a upon lambda plus 1x. Okay, so I'll just tweak question a little. This is 2015. Let's see if you're able to apply the same thing here. Same thing. Now this parabola is changed now. The parabola is changed now. Let's see if you're able to apply the same thing in this also. So x square is equal to 8y. x square is equal to 8y. Point P divides the segment OQ in the ratio 1:3 internally. The parabola, mind you guys, is changed now. The parabola is changed. Locus of P, can you apply the same thing here? Let's see. Let's see. Now, we have already discussed, amazing Shiva, amazing Shiva. We've already discussed whenever this parabola is there, how do you relate this parabola with the original parabola? Y square is equal to 4x, x square is equal to 4ay. So basically, x and y have been interchanged. So in the property also, x and y is going to interchange. So new parabola is going to be x square is equal to 4a upon 1 plus lambda times x. This is going to be, lambda times y. This is going to be the new locus now, modified locus. Okay. Now same 1 is to lambda, so lambda is 3 here. 4a is going to be 8, length of the lattice rectum. So x square is equal to 8 upon 4 times y. So x square is equal to 2y. X square is equal to 2y, option D. Are you seeing, guys? You are able to do these JEE questions in 15 seconds. This is what I mentioned in the beginning of the session. After whatever you have learned in today's session, some of the questions of JEE Advanced you will be able to solve in 15 seconds. Are you getting this? Are you enjoying this? If you're getting this, thumbs up, like, everyone. Thumbs up, like. Are you getting this, everyone? Yes or no in the chat? Are you enjoying this? Are you enjoying this? Yes or no? Great. Great. Now, of course, all questions are not like this. There are certain questions wherein you have to spend time, but again, that time has to be qualitative time. And whatever I've learned, of course, we'll be applying the same. Let's see if you're able to solve this. Let A and B be two distinct points on the parabola y square is equal to 4x. So as soon as I read the first line, I'll draw a rough diagram. So this is a parabola y square is equal to 4x, right open parabola. A and B are 2 points on the parabola. If the axis of the parabola touches, this is the axis, touches the circle of radius r having AB as diameter. Now see, there are 2 points. If AB were something like this, AB as diameter would be this circle. Now this axis can't touch because this circle is going to intersect. If the axis is a tangent, so that means both the points are either on one side, above or below. Let's say we take it above. Okay, so let's say this is A, this is B. Now what does it say? AB diameter, if we draw a circle, it touches this axis. The axis is a tangent to the circle having A and B as diameter. The question is, what is the radius? It can be what? Slope. The slope of AB in terms of radius we have to find. This is multiple, more than one correct, guys. More than one correct. Okay, let's see if you're able to do this. This is more than one correct. So A and B are 2 points on the parabola. The line joining A and B, or line segment joining A and B, if we draw a circle having this as diameter, it touches this axis. Then slope of AB is going to be what in terms of R? Now guys, in these type of questions, it is always beneficial if you use the parametric points. Let's say this point is T1 and let's say this point is T2. A T1 square 2A T1. So this point is going to be A T1 square 2A T1, A T2 square 2A T2. Okay, this is the midpoint. This is the midpoint. So what is going to be coordinate of M? First of all, midpoint, that is A T1 square plus A T2 square by 2. 2a t1 plus 2a t2 by 2. So that means a times t1 plus a times t2. This is midpoint M. Okay. Now, how do we use the fact that this circle is the tangent to this axis? This circle is tangent. So can I say this is the perpendicular distance? This is going to be R. This is going to be R. So can I say this point is going to be R? Can I say that? That is A times T1 plus T2 is going to be R. Can I say that? M point lies directly above this point because this is going to be perpendicular. If this is tangent, this is normal. This is normal. Okay. Not this. This is 90. Sorry. This is going to be 90. So if it is tangent at this point, this is going to be normal at this point and it is going to, pass through M. So y coordinate of M is going to be the radius. You all agree to this. Now guys, one more thing which can happen is the same M point can be below also because line can be this also. In that case, it would be plus minus R. So basically y coordinate can be R or y coordinate can be minus R. Right, so this is the relation that we have found. Okay, A T1 plus T2 is plus minus R. Okay, the parabola is y square is equal to 4x, so A is 1. So that means T1 plus T2 is equal to plus minus R. This is the relation we found. Okay. Now what is asked is the slope of AB. Slope of AB, y2 minus y1. So that means 2a T2 minus 2a T1 upon a T2 square minus a T1 square. So 2 times T2 minus T1 upon T2 minus T1 into T2 plus T1. This goes. Now T1 plus T2 is plus minus R, so plus minus 2 by R. So slope is plus minus 2 by R. That means option C and option D both are correct. C and D both are correct. So answer is going to be Shiva C and D and not A and B. I hope you've realized your mistake. I hope you've realized your mistake, Shiva. Yes? So the answers are going to be C and D. That is 2 by R and minus 2 by R. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? C and D. Right, so this was a very conceptual question. Very conceptual question. So if there's a line which touches this axis, the y coordinate is going to be the radius. The y coordinate is going to be, the y coordinate of the center is going to be the radius. So C and D are going to be the correct answer to this. Got it? Alright. Moving on, next question is this. Right, so these are very simple kind of questions, guys. These look very simple. And again, they have to be done very quickly. Right, so very quickly. Right, so you need to practice a lot of these questions so that you are able to find these answers very quickly. Let E be the centricity of the hyperbola, which is reciprocal to this. Okay. So this ellipse is fully known. So we can find everything about this ellipse, right? So starting with x square by 4 plus y square is equal to 1. So we should not waste our time, thinking about what do we do. Since this is an ellipse which is given to us, find everything about this, right? Particularly eccentricity first because the eccentricity of this is reciprocal to this. Now how do we find? So you should be ready with the formula. Formula should be very clear. It should be very clear, right? So 1 is equal to 4 into 1 minus e square. So e is going to be root 3 by 2. A is 2, so AE is going to be root 3. So centricity of the ellipse is this. That means eccentricity of the hyperbola is going to be 2 by root 3. So since eccentricity of the hyperbola 2 by root 3, let us write the formula also. So b square is equal to a square into e square minus 1. So b square is equal to a square by 3. Eccentricity of the hyperbola. Done. Now if the hyperbola passes through the focus of the ellipse, so what is going to be focus? Focus is going to be root 3 comma 0. Focus is going to be AE comma 0, that is root 3 comma 0. So focus is going to be root 3 comma 0. So root 3 comma 0 basically satisfies this. So we have 3 by a square is equal to 1. So a square is 3. If a square is 3, b square is 1. So we know the equation of the hyperbola now. Hyperbola is x square by 3 minus y square by 1 is equal to 1. Eccentricity of this hyperbola is 2 by root 3. This is the eccentricity. Now let's see what, so this is also more than one correct, guys. More than one correct. Equation of the hyperbola is this, wrong. Equation of hyperbola is this, x square minus 3y square is 3, this is right. Eccentricity is wrong. Focus of the hyperbola. Now focus is going to be AE comma 0. AEH comma 0. A is root 3, so it is going to be 2 comma 0. So 2 comma 0 is again right. So B and D are the correct. So you have to be very quick, guys. You have to be very quick in these. So these are very simple questions. Everyone who is cleared JEE mains will be able to attempt this. Now the only point is some people might take 10 minutes. Some students might take 5 minutes. Some students might do it in 3 minutes. Right? So you have to be amongst those who are able to solve within 3 minutes. As simple as that. Everyone who gave JEE Advanced in 2011 was able to solve this. And this is my assumption, if there is no silly mistake. But again, what does it matter? The point which matters is you have to save time on these questions and put your time on the difficult ones. So those who are able to solve this in 2 minutes were able to save a substantial amount of time, and they were able to put that time on other questions. And that is how they could solve other questions. While those who spent a lot of time on this question in 2011, they could solve only this question. Right? So this is the difference between the marks. This is how. So it is never about the knowledge. It is about how quickly you apply that knowledge to the questions. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? So all you need to do is identify good questions, pick up good questions, easy questions, do them timely, do them quickly, save time, spend that time on other questions. This is what is going to matter. It is not the knowledge. Knowledge, everyone more or less is at the same level. It is the speed, it is the accuracy, it is the consistency, it is the temperament, it is the confidence when you sit in the examination hall which is going to matter. Is it clear? Super. B and D. Let us look at this. Tangents are drawn from the point. So again, this is the concept of outside point. So let us draw this curve roughly. So x square by 9 plus y square by 4 is equal to 1 is going to be this horizontal ellipse. This point is 3, 0, 0, 2. The point is 3, 4. 3, 4 is there. Now one stark observation is this is the tangent, vertical. So one of the tangent is x is equal to 3. The other tangent is going to be something like this. Right, so these are going to be two tangents. One tangent, the other tangent. Touching the ellipse at points A and B, let's say this is point A, this is point B. So what are A and B? So of course, these two are rejected. As simple as that. In fact, this is also rejected. This is also rejected. Can you see why? Because for 0, 2, this point has to be here. This point has to be here. If this was this point, if the point was 3, 2, then one of the points, one of the tangents is going to be horizontal, the other is going to be vertical. Right? For this, the point is going to be slightly on the left side. So this is also rejected. Answer to yahi hai. Answer is D. This is confirmed. Right? But again, we are not here to find the answers. We are here to learn the concept. So again, how do we learn the concept? How do we find this? Particularly B point. A is very clear. A is clear because the point is outside. Directly above this. So A is going to be 3, 0. But how do we find B point? This is important. Now for B point, first of all, what do we do is, let us find the equation of this tangent, PB. PB. Now, how do we find the equation of the tangent? Again, remember the concept, outside point. Outside point. So, one thing that you have to take care of in mind while writing the equation of outside point is slope form. So what is the slope form of this? If you remember, y is equal to mx plus minus root of a square m square plus b square. Slope form. Now what is one good thing about slope form? It passes through 3, 4. So 3, 4 is going to satisfy. 4 is equal to 3m plus minus root of 9m square plus 4. So 4 minus 3m whole square, that is 16 plus 9m square minus 24m is 9m square plus 4. So this cancels. 24m is 12, m is equal to 1 by 2. So this slope is 1. Equation is also known. Point is also known. So y minus 4 is 1 by 2 times x minus 2. That is 2y minus x is equal to 6. Is it clear? X minus 3 it would be 5. 2y minus x is 5. Thus this is clear to us. Now the point is, how do we find b? So there would be a lot of people who would solve this equation with this equation. Solve the equation of the line with the equation of the ellipse. Ultimately you're going to get 1 point. D is going to come to 0. But again, this is going to take a lot of your time. This is going to take a lot of your time. So what was the trick that I told you? Assume this point be x1, y1. Let this point be x1, y1. Equation of the tangent to this at x1, y1 is going to be t is equal to 0. That is x1 by 9, y1 by 4 is equal to 1. Can I say this is the same equation? Minus x plus 2y is equal to 5. Same equation. Just compare. Compare. So how do we compare? Ratios. X coefficient is x1 by 9 divided by minus 1. Y coefficient is y1 by 4 divided by 2 is equal to 1 by 5. So if you compare this and this, x1 is going to be minus 9 by 5. Y1 is going to be 8 by 5. So point of contact is going to be minus 9 by 5 and 8 by 5. Option D is going to be the correct answer. Right, so this is how you apply this. Right, so we've done a lot of, whatever we studied in theory, we have applied that in this particular question. Outside point, always use slope form. Put point, you'll get a quadratic, 2 values. One value is very obvious. M is 1 by 0, not defined. So that is why m square got cancelled. Otherwise, m square is not going to get cancelled. You'll going to get 2 values of m. Point slope form, find 2 equations. If you have to find the point of contact, let the point of contact is x1, y1. T is equal to 0, compare that to the given line. Directly find x1, y1. Do not solve. Do not solve. Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no on the chat? Thumbs up on the chat. Everyone. Everyone. Yes. Ritik, I taught on VMath. I am also teaching on Vedantu Olympiad School, VOS YouTube channel. That is for Olympiads. And now here. Is it clear, everyone? Did you all get this? Yes? Super. So D was the right answer. Let us do this. Let us do this. So again, this was in Advanced 2016. So this is a standard ellipse. X1, F1 and F2 are the foci. So can we find the foci first of all? Can we find the E? So E, 8 is equal to 9 into 1 minus E square. So E will be 1 by 3. A is 3. So AE is going to be 1. So one of the points is going to be minus 1, 0. The other point is 1, 0. So these are the two. These are the two foci. X1 is negative, so F1 is going to be this, F2 is going to be this. Minus 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, done. Suppose a parabola having a vertex at origin, there is a parabola having a vertex at origin and focus at F2, intersects ellipse at points M1 and M2. So this is going to be the parabola. M and N. So M in the first quadrant, N in the fourth quadrant. Okay. Then it is saying the orthocenter of this triangle is going to be what? So this is going to be a triangle. The triangle is going to be symmetric in nature. Right? Because N point is going to be directly below M. It is going to be symmetric. So this triangle is going to be isosceles. So isosceles triangle, symmetric. The orthocenter should lie on x-axis. And I can see, if it is lying on x-axis, D definitely is not the answer. D is definitely not the answer. This is one thing which is very clear, because this is an isosceles triangle, symmetric triangle. This is the point, line of symmetry, right? So the orthocenter is going to be on x-axis. This is one thing which is clear. Okay, can we find M and N now? Okay, what is going to be equation of the parabola? The focus is this. So that means A is equal to 1. So parabola is going to be y square is equal to 4x. Because this distance is 1. A is 1. Y square is equal to 4x. Can we solve these two? Again, for this M and N, I think there is no other alternate but to solve. So when I said do not solve, that doesn't mean you don't have to solve it altogether. In these kind of cases wherein there is no other alternative, we will have to solve, as simple as that. So y square 4x, just put x square by 9 plus 4x by 8, that means x by 2 is equal to 1. 2x square solve x, guys, everyone. Solve for x. Solve for x. Did you get x? Solve for x. Can you solve this quadratic 36? Can you 12 and 3 factorize? So 2x square plus 12x minus 3x minus 18. Okay. Now x is clearly on the right side, so x is going to be 3 by 2. Two values, minus 6 and 3 by 2. This will be rejected. X is 3 by 2. Now x is 3 by 2. Y square is going to be 6. So this point is going to be 3 by 2 comma root 6. 3 by 2. This point is going to be 3 by 2 comma minus root 6. So you have 3 points, 3 points of the triangle. The triangle is clearly isosceles because F1 lies on x-axis. These two are mirror images of each other with respect to x-axis. So it is going to be purely symmetric. That means orthocenter has to lie on x-axis. That is one thing which is very sure. How do we find the orthocenter? What we can do is, since we know it lies on the x-axis, this slope we can find. So what is the slope of F1m? It is y2 minus y1 root 6 upon x2 minus x1, that is minus 5 by 2. So equation of this, this slope is this. So if we draw the perpendicular, so this slope is going to be 5 by 2 root 6. And equation of the altitude from m is going to be y minus root 6 is m, that is 5 by 2 root 6, x minus 3 by 2. So this line is known. Now wherever this line basically cuts x-axis, that is our point. So for x-axis y, just put y 0. As we put y 0, so this goes 2 root 6 into 6 is 12. So minus 12 by 5 plus 3 by 2. This is going to be our answer. This is going to be our answer. So if you solve this, the answer is going to come out as minus 9 by 10. You can check, guys. So as you solve this, the answer is going to be minus 9 by 10. Is it clear, everyone? So minus 9 by 10 comma 0 is going to be the correct answer. Amazing, amazing. Natarajan, very well done. So minus 9 by 10. So again, this involves certain calculations again in every JEE attempt, in every JEE exam, JEE Advanced exam, there has been at least one question on conic section which involved calculations, right? For example, in this one, this was this. There are a lot of conceptual things, but again, there is at least one question involving certain level of calculations. Okay, so this was this. Okay, let us do this, guys. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Let's see. 15 seconds. Y square is equal to 8x, right open parabola. Delta 1 is the area of the triangle formed by the end points of the latest rectum. So P1, P2, O. End points of the latest rectum and the point P half comma 2. So half comma 2 is going to be this. Half comma 2. So this is delta 1. Delta 1. Delta 2 be the area of the triangle formed by drawing the tangents at P and the end points of the latest rectum. So that means you draw a tangent at P1, you draw a tangent at P2, and you draw a tangent at P. So this is delta 2. Have we learned anything about these two in the theorem in the class today? Exactly. Delta 1 by delta 2 is directly 2, guys. No question. Direct result. And we've done this in today's theory. So just move this a few minutes back, you'll find this theory. Delta 1 by delta 2 is always 2. Direct result. See, guys, and these are the kind of things which we typically discuss in the class. So these are the kind of things which we ask students to remember. So if they find these kind of questions in JEE Advanced, I mean, that is their lucky day. Got it? I hope this is clear. So answer is 2. Okay. This. So question on normal also. Let the normals of the parabola y square is equal to 4x. So y square is equal to 4x is this parabola, right? Open parabola. Normals drawn at the end points of the latest rectum. End point of the latest rectum, the focus is 1, 0. So this point is going to be 1, 2, 1, minus 2. P point, Q point, 1, minus 2. Normal drawn at the end point of the latest rectum are tangents to this circle. Okay. So basically, if we draw a normal to this, so this line is basically a tangent to this circle. So first of all, let us draw this or write this normal. Write this normal. So what is the way to write the normal? So one is if you remember the T form or if you remember the slow form. So T form is y is equal to minus dx plus 2at plus at cube. Here a is 1. Also T is equal to 1 because at the end point of the latest rectum, this T is equal to 1. You remember, you should know this. End point of the latest rectum, the T point, the value of T is always 1. For this point, T is equal to minus 1. So directly, y is equal to minus tx plus 2at. It is 2t plus t cube. So this is the equation of the normal for a is equal to 1. At t is equal to 1, the normal becomes y is equal to minus x plus 3 or x plus y is equal to 3. So this is the normal. This is the normal. Now guys, if this is the normal, if this is the normal, now what does it say? This normal is the tangent to this circle. I think we are done. If there is a circle having center 3, minus 2, and this is the line which we already know, this is x plus y is equal to 3. I think we can find the r. R is nothing but the distance of this line from the center. 3 comma minus 2, what is the distance from the center? So 3 minus 2 minus 3 mod by root 2. This is R. So R is root 2, R square is going to be 2. So 2 is going to be the answer to this. Amazing, Natarajan. Narayan, Karthik, very well done. Are you getting this, guys? Are you getting this? This is very important. And again, the only thing I'm repeating is you need to do these kind of questions really quickly. You need to save time on these type of questions. That is why Conic section, identify easy questions, at least do the easy ones and do them quickly. Save time. Spend that time on difficult questions. Because these questions, everyone, almost everyone who is attempting JEE Advanced is going to do. It is only going to be the difference of the time. Right? So if there is no silly mistake, everyone who is attempting JEE Advanced has little bit of knowledge about tangents, normals. They're going to do these questions. Right? The only thing is, are you able to save time on these? It is never about giving the answer correctly to these kind of questions, because most of them are going to give it correctly. It is always about, are you able to save time on these type of questions? That is something that you need to learn. You need to do these questions quickly and accurately. These are the two things that you need to work on. All right. All right. Moving on. Next question. Let's see. 2020. A, B, lambda be positive numbers. Suppose P is an endpoint of the later sector of the parabola y square is equal to 4 lambda x. So it is kind of 4ax only. Right? 4 lambda x. So write open parabola because lambda is positive. The focus is going to be lambda comma 0. Later sectum is going to be lambda comma 2 lambda. This is the endpoint of the later sectum. Suppose P is the endpoint. So this is P. This is P. Lambda comma 2 lambda. Endpoint of the later sectum. Suppose the ellipse passes through the point P. So this is an ellipse which is going to pass through point P. In other words, lambda comma 2 lambda is going to satisfy this. So this is one equation that is coming to mind. I'll write it. So lambda square by a square plus 4 lambda square by b square is equal to 1. 4 lambda square by b square is equal to 1. It passes through point P. The tangents to the parabola and the ellipse at point P are perpendicular to each other. Okay. So basically what it is trying to say is this tangent and this tangent, the angle is 90 degrees. Now, to the parabola at t is equal to 1, parabola at t is equal to 1, the slope is 1 by t, that is 1 by 1. So slope of the tangent to the parabola is 1, that means slope of the tangent to the ellipse is going to be, now this is 1, this is going to be minus 1. The slope of the tangent to the ellipse is minus 1. That is another thing that is coming to my mind. So let us write the equation. So how do we find the slope? One is you can write the slope form, or you can directly differentiate. Differentiate at lambda comma 2 lambda. Okay. So 2x by a square plus 2y dash by b square is equal to 0. Now y dash is minus 1. Y dash is minus 1. So that means x by a square is equal to y by b square. Right? At x naught, y naught. X naught, y naught is this point, lambda comma 2 lambda. So lambda by a square is 2 lambda by b square. So this gives us b square is equal to 2a square. Also indicating b is greater than a. So this is actually a vertical ellipse. Again, I don't know if it is going to matter or not, but again, b square is 2a square, that means b is greater than a. It is actually a vertical ellipse. Okay. Now the question is, what is going to be the eccentricity? Okay, eccentricity is simple now. Since it's a vertical ellipse, then we have a square is equal to b square into 1 minus e square. So a square is equal to 2a square into 1 minus e square. I think we are done now. So e square is equal to half. E is going to be 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 means option A. 1 by root 2 means option A. Exactly, Karthik. Very well done. Amazing speed. Natarajan, Karthik, Very amazing speed, guys. Right? So if you're attempting JEE Advanced, is any one of you attempting JEE Advanced this year? Karthik, Natarajan Subramanyam, are you attempting JEE Advanced this year? Right? So I want you all people to have speeds like these two. Amazing speeds. So if you are solving this for the first time and if you're able to solve this really quickly, amazing. Right? So this is what you need to do. You need to identify good questions, easy questions, solve them quickly, solve them accurately, save time, which other people will not be able to, and spend that time on the other question. So it is not this question which is going to matter. This question, everyone is going to get 3 marks. It is the time saved at this question which is going to matter, which you'll put to other questions that is going to fetch you marks. Not this question. This question is not going to be a game changer. The time spent over this question is going to be a game changer. Are you getting this? Because this question everyone is able to do. Everyone will be able to do. So this thing is, the thing about conic section is, there will be certain easy questions, certain kind of questions which are going to be easy for everyone. You have to do them quickly, identify them accurately, save time, spend that time on the other questions. That is going to what matter, that time. Is it clear? Amazing. Amazing. So 1 by root 2 is the answer to this. I hope this is clear. All right, guys. So there would be certain homework questions which I'll just show you. Also, I'll be putting this PDF on the channel, Telegram channel, right? So you can access, you can have a look at those questions either now or you can do it later at your end, right? So this would be homework question number 1, right? So you can have a look at this question. You can also pause this, right? So answers are also given. This is another question, slope of the line touching both. So basically this is the concept of common tangents. I've told you how to do this. Slope form, right? So this is another question. This is the third question. P F1, F2, this is the ellipse. P F1 plus P F2, standard property of ellipse. This is question number 14, the mirror image of the parabola y square is equal to 4x. So this is y square is equal to 4x. In the tangent to the parabola at the point 1, 2. So this is the tangent line. Tangent line. So if we reflect this parabola over this tangent line, what is going to be the new parabola? What is going to be the equation of that parabola? This is a very good question, guys. Try to do it yourself. And this is question number 15th. The equation of the circle passing through the foci of this ellipse having center at 0, 3 is. So which of these 4? These are very simple questions. This has come in JEE Advanced 2 times, also in JEE Mains 2013. Okay. So that is it, guys. That is it from my side today. I hope you've enjoyed these questions. If you liked, do let me in the comment section. What did you like the most about these sessions? So I'll carry it forward. The same thing in the next session also. And also, don't hesitate to also write in the comments what all do you want apart from what we've discussed. So next session is going to happen day after tomorrow, and we'll be discussing algebra. Algebra questions the same way. We'll be picking up some theory, some good theory, some easy theory. We'll be discussing the important points, and then we'll discuss some good JEE Advanced kind of questions. Yes. So if you enjoyed, like the session, share this session to everyone who is giving JEE Advanced. It is going to be useful for them. We are making our full efforts to make it very, useful kind of things, and it is going to help you a lot. And also do comment and like and share and subscribe. Take care, everyone. God bless you. Bye all. Hope you've enjoyed.